All right, so now we're going to take a look at the main solo, which comes after the slide solo. A lot of solos in this song. The first part will start off with some octave shapes and sounds like this. This is also played with a wah-wah on the original recording, but I'll demonstrate without the wah-wah now. So the notes we're going to start with are E, 9th fret of the G string, 12th fret of the high E string. Then I'm going to slide up a full step, so I'll be playing octaves with F sharp. Slide up another full step, so we maintain the same shape, and now we'll be playing with G sharp. And now slide up a step and a half, so we'll be on the 16th fret of the G and the 19th fret of the high E playing B. Put all those together, here's the first phrase once again. Now the wah-wah kicks in. Second phrase of this solo sounds like this. So, based around the C-sharp minor pentatonic scale, I'm going to start by bending on the 11th fret of the G string. Play 9 on the high E, back to 12B, repeat those two notes. So far we've done this. Back to 9 on the high E, bend 11 on the G, and then play 9B, 9E. 12, 9 on the B, bend 11 on the G, back 11, 9 on the G, 11 on the D, 9, 11 on the G, and then bend on the 11th fret of the G up a full step. So the whole phrase now would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here's the next phrase. So we're going to start by bending on the 12th fret of the B string and then play 9 on the high E. Then we're going to play these next 5 notes 3 times, starting on the B string 12th fret, 9, 11, 9 on the high E, 9 on the B. If I play those 5 notes 3 times, it sounds like this. Next phrase. So here I'm going to bend on the 12th fret of the B, grab 9 on the high E, back to 9 on the B. Back to 9 on the high E. Bend 11 G, play 9B, 9E. 12, 9B. Bend 11 G. Back to the 11 on the G string, and finally we end this phrase 9G. Okay, so the whole phrase we just learned, if we put it together, sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. And the final phrase of this solo sounds like this. Okay, so I'm going to start by bending on the 12th fret of the B string and then play 9 on the high E, then 12B again, and then play a unison bend where we bend on the 12th fret of the B while holding the 9th fret on the high E. Put those 4 notes together, sounds like this. Now we're going to move up a full step. Our next phrase will sound like this. So this is also going to be a unison bend. While holding the 11th fret of the high E, I'm going to bend on the 14th fret of the B string. Strike the 11th fret of the high E 2 times, and then do the unison bend one more time. All right, so let's go back and try and put all of these pieces together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so coming out of that main solo, we're going to be into a little rhythmic variation on the verse, C sharp minor, B, and A. There's going to be 4 rounds here, so we'll take it round by round. The first one will sound like this. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm outlining the top part of a C sharp minor chord. If you can imagine, a C sharp minor bar chord would look like this. What we're going to do is we're going to play on the 9th fret on the D, G, B, and E string. This chord could technically be called a C sharp minor 7 chord. We're going to start now by adding what's known as the 9th. This will be the note D sharp on top on the 11th fret on the high E string. I'll play that. This could be called C sharp minor 9, and then go back to the C sharp minor 7. Lift off your 3rd finger. Now we're going to move down to a B chord. We're going to play the top part of a B bar chord. So we're going to play across 9D, 8G, 7 on the top 2 strings. We're going to slide into the B chord. And once again, we'll do that riff where we add the 9th. Hendrix did this a lot. So the 9th now to this B chord will be the note C sharp. We'll add that on the 9th fret of the high E string. Down a full step to A, and we'll slide into the A. And then we're going to do this little riff around the A chord. So double stops here, 9G, 8B. And if we get the high E string, that sounds kind of cool too. Move that up a full step now, so it's 11G, 10B. Finally up to 14G, 13B. Okay, so once again, here's the first round. Okay, the second round starts off the same. We're going to play C sharp minor, and we can do the riff with the 9th. Down to the B chord, we can do the riff with the 9th again. This time when we get to the A, we're just going to scratch 16th notes. So we strike the chord and then scratch. So you just lightly press against the string so you don't hear any chord ringing out. All right, so if we put that together, here's what the second round would sound like. Third round is the same as the first. And the final round ends with some single notes, which sound like this. So we're going to play unison bends here. While holding the 9th fret of the high E string, I'm going to bend into that note from the 12th fret of the B. And then I'm going to strike the high E string on the 9th fret 5 more times. Do the same style of unison bend up 2 frets. Strike the high E string 4 more times. Do the exact same thing up 1 fret. Same thing up 2 frets. And the same thing up 2 more frets. Okay, so here's what we just did. Okay, Okay, so if we go back a little bit from the chordal riff, here's what that whole phrase will sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's the main solo. Now coming out of the main solo, we're then going to be into another verse, and then the song just fades out with more soloing. So we've learned all the parts now. So if you want to check it out, go to the performance section here and try and put it all together. All right, well that's it. If you made it through all of these songs, congratulations. One thing that I think is important to remember is with Hendrix stuff, you want to see the big picture. Don't get too lost in the details. You want to just be able to play these songs with conviction. And if that means putting a little bit of your own heart into it rather than playing exactly what Hendrix played, I think that's more important. And that's why these songs have survived, because they just are all about the attitude and the vibe, and that goes a lot further than trying to worry technically about playing everything perfect. So, keeping that in mind, I hope you really had some fun. I had some fun playing these songs with you, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.